What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I am your host and captain, Garrett Morlang, and here in the studio with me is the one, the only Super Gamer Man, JJ Purdom.
I like how you call me Super Gamer Man.
Yeah, well, I am contractually obligated to, or else bad things will happen to me.
What happens when you get a good lawyer? You get a good lawyer, and all of a sudden you can call yourself whatever you want.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah. It works. It works. It kind of fits the motif.
Too bad I'm not swimming in cash like you are. So
well,
I just had to represent myself in that one. And
actually, I just had some. I didn't pay for my
end.
lawyer. I had revealing photos of him with no clothes on.
Of the loiter? Of the loiter.
Of the loiter. Yeah. Yeah. Of a lawyer. Yeah.
A lawyer?
Yeah.
It's my lawyer.
Yeah. How's it going?
Wow,
man?
That was an interesting start.
That was
there.
A horrible intro.
Interesting way to start off the show.
Rewind it and just do it again. Hey, everybody, it's JJ and it's Garrett. We are the Super Gamer Boys. It's awesome to see you guys. We've got a Patreon. Have we told you about Patreon? Have you heard about Patreon? I've heard about Patreon. Patreon's amazing. If you were to go on patreon.com/supergamerboys to men. No, wait. We haven't added the two men yet. Oop, cat's out of the bag. We're changing the name.
Our lawyers here, JJ's lawyer, is currently looking over the paperwork now, talking with the copyright office. We're, hopefully soon getting that one.
Sweet. Well, if you can't tell, you're probably looking at me thinking, gosh, he looks so relaxed. He looks so well-rested. That's because I'm coming off 4 sweet days of vacation, just kicking it in the sun. Well, not really in the sun. Kicking it on the couch like a fat tub of goo. I had the most amazing 4 days of relaxing nothing. It was awesome. It was amazing. And at one point, one of my kids was like, hey, Dad, are you not going to do anything? And I'm like, yeah. How does it feel? It feels pretty good. I'm doing what you guys do all the time. Nothing. Then I had to take it back and I said, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it must be nice. If you can't tell by looking at me, with the dark circles around my eyes and the pale complexion, I'm also exhausted.
Yeah, for some reason, he had to pick up the slack and work some of my jobs.
So I did not get a break, a nice 4-day weekend like JJ did. If anything, I got no weekend. So I'm happy for you, JJ. I'm glad you really got to enjoy those 4 days. Two of those were work days, and I'm glad you could just kick it on the couch.
Thanks, man. Really appreciate that. It's like the nicest thing you've ever. Oh, you're being sarcastic. I was picking up the sarcasm right away. I mean, I caught it pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. Awkward.
Anyways, let's get into some housekeeping real quick. We have a packed news section here, so I just want to get through this housekeeping so we can talk about some cool stuff.
Oh, sweet. And it's super nerdy, by the way.
Super nerdy.
Super nerdy.
First thing, before we talk about anything, I want you all to know that March 20th, that is a Friday, that is in a week and a half, I guess, when you listen to this on Wednesday.
He's not good at math.
I'm not good at math. So if you listen to this on Wednesday when it goes out to the public, it's next week on Friday. So 7, 8, 9 days. You do the math. You figure out March 20th. That's good enough, right?
Let me get a calculator real quick, and we'll figure this out.
Okay, sounds good. You work on that while I'm talking to them.
Okay.
I have not locked down a time yet with Zech Keenan, from Nerd Dads, but we are doing a Doom Eternal stream. So I don't know if you caught the last stream. I think it was Friday or Thursday or something like that. Zech streamed some Doom 2016. And that was a blast. I was able to hang in there a little bit, and then my Twitch app got all janky on my phone, so I couldn't watch anymore. But it was great what I watched. I know a lot of people really enjoyed it, and he talked about doing some more streams probably over the next week or two until March 20th, and that's when it all kicks off with Zech and I and maybe JJ, maybe not. I don't know. He likes to keep us guessing. We're all going to go over to Zech's house and play Doom Eternal the day it comes out.
So wait, I'm invited to Zech's house again after the last time with being asked to leave politely?
Yes.
Sweet. Well, then right on. Wait, you didn't talk with him about this. You probably didn't okay this, first of all, right?
I mean, I'm the boss, right? I can okay whatever I want.
You technically, yeah. I mean, technically, Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. And Zetch actually did an awesome job. I went and watched it after post because for some reason you didn't tell me. And I was like, oh, wow, Super Gamer Boys is doing a stream? Garrett never called.
I didn't know until about 45 minutes before either. He's like, hey, I'm going to stream tonight. I'm like, I need to do a post right now.
No, it was totally cool. And so I looked it up, and Zetch did an awesome job. And I can't wait to have him back on the show. I know we talked about having Zetch come in at some point and maybe fill in one of these chairs. We'll do like a 3-man group thing. I'm thinking me being like the peanut butter that holds all of this together. I'll probably like have the main chair in the beginning or the center, and we'll probably make it a little bit taller so I can kind of sit above each of you because, me being in the center, that's probably what we need to do.
Okay. So I'll need to pick up a couple extra phone books then for you.
Well, yeah. They throw them in the front of the building every time we get here. There's always a couple out there.
Okay. Well, I'll start collecting them for you.
Okay.
But Doom Eternal stream March 20th with Zetch Keenan. That's at supergamerboys.com/Twitch. And as I said, whenever that's happening, I'm going to be putting out posts and links and updates. So as long as you keep an eye on our social media, you'll know exactly when it's happening. Also, if you haven't, please go check out our Patreon. If you really love what we do, you're loving our podcast, you're loving watching us on YouTube, you're really enjoying the streams that we do once in a while, go to patreon.com/supergamerboys. For just $1 a month, you can get the episode early. That's right. Tonight, after we finish recording, Monday night, you can get the audio version ad-free for your listening. For your listening pleasure. Your listening pleasure.
And he doesn't even edit any of the super misogynistic stuff that he normally talks about because he really does hate women. I mean, we all kind of call him behind his back the woman hater because he hates anybody who doesn't, automatically possess a penis. I don't know why Garrett is the way that he is. We're trying to work on it. He's going through some super deep therapy at the moment. And I'm sure that eventually he'll change for the better. But until he does that, he's just putting that stuff out. If you are a Patreon supporter, you can end up hearing all of the hateful hate speech, all of the evil, like Nazi, ridicule that he just spews all over females. You can hear that if you support us on Patreon.
I really don't like any of those words you just said, but
you don't like the word Patreon? That's when people support. You're listening to the ad?
I don't like the fact that you just mentioned all those things that people can cut out and completely out of context, make it sound like I'm a misogynist Nazi now. So thanks for that.
Oh no, you're not a Nazi.
Jeez.
What? That was me winking for the audio.
Wow.
If you're listening to this only on podcast form.
That's why I tried to sigh as loud as possible because I know the YouTube viewers can see me like rubbing my forehead, with this tension, stress headache I just got from you saying all that. But the audio listeners can't, so I had to give that big, on the microphone so people know how displeased I am.
Why don't you just take a couple of the Midol you got in your purse?
With that Patreon ad.
Take a couple of the Midol you got in your purse. And
shout out to our Patreon sponsors, Bill Bird, Julie Bates, and Dustin Long. I'm so sorry for JJ's behavior, and I hope you keep supporting us despite...
We hope that you keep supporting us too. The three of you guys are so special in every way. And Dustin's been hanging out lately inside of the Discord. Dustin, you've been bringing some really great questions and some cool content to our Discord. Discord has been killing it. Have you mentioned Discord? You probably haven't, but you guys can always go check us out at Super Gamer Boys on Discord. I don't know what the code is. I don't look at it. It's an app on my phone.
Supergamerboys.com/Discord. You can go over there and hang out. We have a lot of fun. A couple weeks ago, I mentioned that we had a Minecraft realm up and running.
Yes.
And just yesterday or the day before, my brother finally got back hold of my brother, and he added a couple listeners to our Super Gamer Boys Minecraft realm. So I jumped in there last night, and my brother happened to be online. I was talking with him a little bit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, who was it?
He's talking to you again. They finally unblocked you.
Yeah,
nice.
Right.
It's Wisconsin. Your brother's got to love.
I forget. There's a couple people from I think Kajoma01, and then Luck My Balls.
I'm sorry. What?
That's what it says.
Okay.
We're just gonna leave it at that.
Very cool.
He both of them joined our Minecraft realm. My brother was showing me around some of the stuff they built. I'm like, this is so cool. Like
That's
having
awesome.
like our community like chipping in and hanging out, playing games like people who don't know each other at
Where
all.
can one go? Can we go on Discord to find the link to that?
If you there's no link. If you want to join that, join our Discord and then just either message me or message my brother or whatever, and we will hook you up. My brother has to do it because he's the owner of the realm or whatever. That sounds very nerdy. He's the keeper of the realm.
Super nerdy. Ridiculously nerdy.
It's not as nerdy as it sounds, actually. It's basically he pays for it every month. He's the one who shells out like $8 a month for this realm.
Oh.
So shout out to my brother.
Very
for doing
cool.
that.
Thanks, Jake.
They
call him Jake the Snake, mostly because he likes reptiles.
Yeah, I mean, we used to when we were younger. Before I even knew that there was a wrestler named that.
Really? You didn't know that?
I think my parents did. My parents would say that, but me as a kid who didn't watch wrestling, we would call him that. And then there was later in life, I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I see what you did there.
You never got the impression when he would always like try to give you the DDT and like slam your face into the mat?
I don't even know what those letters mean.
Just go to the next thing.
Okay.
You sadden me so much, nerd boy.
I think it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's time for the nerdy news.
Okay, JJ, this first one is for you.
Oh, I've already looked ahead. Yeah, because I did my homework. I actually read the articles this time. I literally did. Then right before we ended up pressing the record button, you're like, hey, did you read it? And I'm like, yes, I did. And you're like, wait, when did you read it? Because I changed a bunch of articles. And I'm like, crap! The one time that I read everything.
Yeah.
No, but this one is
There's
exciting.
some crazy news today, okay?
Yeah.
So first on the list, we have to talk about this first because this is major, major, major news. HBO is making a Last of Us series, and the game's writer is involved to make sure it's good. This comes from Chaim Gartenberg. Heim? What? There's a C. It's CH.
It's a Yiddish name, Heim.
There's no way.
Seriously.
I don't believe you one for.
Trust me, Garrett. I'm never wrong, except for when I'm not right. But this time I am correct. Okay. Look here, folks. This is the moment when Garrett reveals himself to not be as smart as his older counterpart.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Boom! That was the mic getting dropped. Woo!
Heim.
Oh no! I kind of messed the mic up.
Jeez, what are you doing, bud?
It's fine. It's good. It's good.
Okay.
It's touchy because I dropped it a second ago, and it actually literally dropped, and I couldn't pick it back up.
Jeez. This is why we can't have nice things. Heim Gartenberg over at The Verge writes this. HBO is working on adapting The Last of Us into a TV series in an effort to make sure that the show is actually, well, good, unlike most video game adaptations. Neil Druckmann, the writer and creative director of both The Last of Us games, The Last of Us and its upcoming sequel, will be involved to help write and executive produced, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Neil Druckmann tweets, I can't believe we get to team up with one of my favorite writers to bring Ellie and Joel's journey to HBO. Leading the adaptation is Craig Mazin. He was the creator of HBO's critically acclaimed drama, Chernobyl, which came out last year. It seems like a perfect fit given the post-apocalyptic world the games take place in. The Last of Us wouldn't be Mazin's only video game project either. He's also working with director Eli Roth on the film version of the far more lighthearted Borderlands game. Yeah. Evan Welms, the president of Naughty Dog, will also serve as an executive producer, as will HBO's Carolyn Strauss.
I cannot be the only person who is seriously cutting shirts right now with hashtag Garrett's nipples because, I mean, how are you not super jacked right now?
Oh, I'm
this
stoked.
is like the best news ever.
When I saw this news, remember, you walked in the office, I'm like, you're not going to believe this. You're going to lose your mind. And I told you, and you're like, what?
And my mind was lost.
His mind was lost. He ran around, ripped his shirt off, and just ran around the office.
I still feel really bad about that because we share an office building with a lot of very straight-laced ladies, and they get so weird about your shirt coming off in the middle of the day.
They also get really weird if you leave the toilet seat up, apparently.
Apparently.
There's a new sign in the bathroom.
Yeah, I saw
it. It doesn't even say leave the toilet seat. It says toilet cover though. Yeah. Which is just I understand. I understand putting the seat down, but what's the deal with the cover? Who cares if the cover's up or down?
Yeah, I had a similar issue at that same bathroom with all the ladies that are there. Sometimes when one goes to the restroom, sometimes not everything goes down. You flush, you walk away, and for some reason you've left residual. Yeah, I'm just gonna say it, folks. sometimes you just leave something behind. And I had somebody go all crazy like, oh my goodness, I seen that man's waist. It was disgusting. He's supposed to be a grown man. It was an old white lady.
She also is not in that office anymore.
No,
so
she left probably because of what she saw.
It bothered her so bad that she left the office building. Mm-hmm. One of the cool things I think about this whole thing too is I didn't even read it yet, but so early last year, we did a news story about how Sony was starting this new PlayStation production studios that was going to start making movies and TV shows, and everyone was just like,
right.
Oh boy, like this is not going to be good. Like why in the world would Sony produce their own shows? Like this can't be good. Like they make games, like stick with what you're good at. Like are they just going to be super cheesy, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, what's cool is like this show is obviously being like mainlined by HBO, but
which
they
traditionally puts out amazing
stuff, but they are working alongside PlayStation Productions. Mm-hmm. So immediately, because that news story came out last year, but there wasn't a lot of context given.
There was like Jack and Daxter.
No, it was
Jackson.
No, it was racing. Twisted Metal.
Twisted Metal
TV show.
Okay. And I remember being like,
what the heck?
How's that going to work?
Exactly. Which is interesting. We haven't heard anything about that since,
sure.
But
because I think everybody kind of reacted the same way.
What the heck? But yeah, anyway, like people were just like, there was very little context, very little details for what in the world PlayStation Productions really was. And so now to see it in this context, for me, it gives me like, oh, so much hope, because in everyone's head, we all assumed, oh, PlayStation Production they're gonna do everything and it's gonna be bad. But if this is the what they're going to start doing from here on out, where no, PlayStation Production is going to partner with people like with HBO or with Netflix or with this person or that person, and that's how things are going to get made. Oh man, I'm 100% on board.
Absolutely.
Because if you can get people who are great at making movies working alongside the people who actually make the game in this way, man, I can see some really incredible like movies and TV shows coming out in the next few years for video games. Because up until now, think about video game TV shows.
Horrible.
The video game makers are very rarely involved. Like, you think of the Tomb Raider movies, like the ones with Angelina Jolie back in the day. That was completely just some random person's creation in their head, loosely based off of like the video games. But the fact that what's his name, Neil Druckmann, is like one of the writers and like gonna kind of direct or like work alongside the director and other writer, like this is gonna be insane.
I like how they in the article actually talk about he's on board so he can make sure that it's good. So he's going to help with the writing process. And then also the president of Naughty Dog is also going to be an executive producer on the show as well. So
the of Naughty Dog and the president of HBO. So it's like some big heavy hitters are like, hey, we're all a part of this.
And they do make a small mention about the Uncharted movie, the Uncharted film that's also going to be done.
Never going to happen.
Well, I hope that it is. I know. I just love the Uncharted.
Every couple months, some news comes out about how it either is delayed or there's a new director. Like I think in the last year, there's been like 5 different directors. Like every couple months, like, oh, actually, this person dropped out. There's a new director. It's like that movie is stuck in like production hell. Like it's never getting out. It's stuck in purgatory forever. I feel like, which is unfortunate because they've cast Tom Holland there, the guy who plays Spider-Man. Like he's cast to play Nathan Drake, and he's actually done interviews. And I think in a recent interview, even mentioned like, oh yeah, in like a couple months we're supposed to start filming. It's like, I'll believe it when I see it, because like they just got a new director. I doubt they're just gonna like jump into filming with a new director. But
so going with that route, I don't think the article states anybody who's been pinned to carry the mantle of Joel and Ellie in this TV adaptation. But I would be very interested to make some guesses on. I would love to see Troy Baker, the guy who voices Joel, end up making the transition over to the TV show. Just because that voice is so resonant with that character for me. I know they won't do that, but I would love to see. Obviously, Ashley Jacobson, who plays Ellie in the game, she's far too old. I think she's like 36, so she's not going to be able to pull off a teenage girl in the show.
There was one casting. I'm trying to find it. I saw it on Twitter, but now I can't. Dang it. I should have saved the tweet. There was a couple people, and they were...
these are just people speculating and throwing guesses.
Oh, yeah.
out
It was
there.
just like, this is...
Hey, this would be great. And,
yeah, this would be really cool. Man, I wish I would have saved it. But there was one girl who was from the show. Have you ever seen the show? I can't even think of the name of the show. It has Tim Allen in it.
Last Man Standing.
So the one daughter from that,
Mm-hmm.
and she looks just like Ellie,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane. So like I was like, oh yes, perfect, you nailed it. And then the other one, I'm trying to remember who the guy was. It was kind of like, no offense to this actor, it was kind of like a no one. Like I read the name, I'm like, I don't recognize him at all. But he honestly like looked just like. So this is the girl there.
Yeah, the
So,
kid
like,
who plays one of the daughters on Tim Allen's show.
The youngest daughter in Last Man Standing.
She does look very much like that.
There's another photo of her that they've been posting on Twitter, and it looks just like Ellie. And then I wish I could remember this other actor, but it's like, no offense to the actor, but it's kind of like a no one. I was like, I don't recognize this person. Then I saw the picture, I'm like, oh shoot, like that's Joel. Like, it looks like Joel. As much as it'd be cool to get Troy Baker in there because of his voice and everything, but Troy Baker does not look like Joel at all.
Yeah.
Like,
but keep in mind also, just because somebody looks like the character that you're used to doesn't mean that it's actually going to be a shoo-in. Because what a lot of times they do is they go, we're going to go totally against the script and go with somebody who looks totally different. Let's pick a different nationality or, whatever in order to throw them into the thing to change stuff up. I know they did that with The Gunslinger, where they picked Idris Elba, who is an amazing actor, to be Roland Deschain in the Gunslinger movie, The Dark Tower. And it just, everybody who grew up reading all the novels pictured like a Clint Eastwood. And then to bring in Idris Elba, it was like, well, that's not what we were expecting, So it was like changing stuff up. Recently, I just read an article where somebody actually approached Michael B. Jordan to, you know him from Creed and Black Panther and stuff like that. They approached him about potentially being Superman at some point. And so,
awesome.
Yeah, he's an amazing actor, but it just goes to show you that don't expect somebody who looks just like Joel and just like Ellie to come forward in the thing. It may be what you're looking for, but it might not necessarily be what you get.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't know. There is just something so, I don't know. You just connect with those characters so deeply, like in a video game, that I feel like it'd be, because it's one thing to watch a movie or read I don't know. Video games are just so different because you spend so much time with them, and like that's who you know them as. Like where in a book, like it's really, a lot of it is based off your imagination, because they may or may not even tell you straight up. Like a lot of books aren't like you talk about in The Gunslinger, like maybe they did. I've never read the book, but where they like did, it's a white dude and he
white
looks
dude,
like,
blue eyes and everything. Yeah.
So I'm wrong in that part, but I feel like some books you read, like maybe it isn't, like if they do leave it up to the imagination of the person.
Which I still love the movie. I wasn't happy with how that movie came out, but as far as Idris Elba, I know he's an incredible actor, so I was like,
no, he's
okay,
good.
I'm in. I'm amazing actor, so I'm like, go for it.
But yeah, and even like in movies and TV shows, when they like remake those, it's like, okay, like a movie is only like an hour and a half, 2 hours long, so it's like, okay, who cares if you get a new actor in there? But when it was a video game, when you play it for like 10 or 15 hours, and like that's all you see and hear for, like that's when it gets weird, like to adapt something like that. It's like, oh no, I'm used to like a character looking a certain way. Like even when they just remade the Tomb Raider movies with what's her name? Vikander. I remember her last name. Elizabeth? Alexandra? Alex? Something Vikander.
I love it when you like just go fishing and you're just I'm just throwing it out there, seeing what catches bait.
Throwing it out there. Alicia Vikander. Like she really like looked a lot like the new, version of Lara Croft in the new Tomb Raider games, and so I was like, oh, that was a perfect casting. But yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I just feel like video games are a little different. Not that it's impossible. Like they could totally cast someone totally different, and if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
But I know for me, it's just like, oh, there's something about like Joel and his voice, and like Ellie and like their look and everything.
Yeah. I think that stretching it out over into a TV series is a great idea too. There's so much meat on the bone that I honestly feel like there's so many different stories that can be told with. It's never been about. It's just like with The Walking Dead. It's never been about the zombies. It's never been about the clickers. That's just one aspect of the post-apocalyptic thing.
Last of Us has very little to do with the clickers.
It's the human story, the interaction, the changes that one has to make to adapt and to survive, and what people do in the changing of their characters, their inner characters change where they're willing to do things to survive that you wouldn't normally do, that, cross moral lines, kind of like you do with your misogynistic stuff.
You can't keep saying stuff like that. People are going to start believing you, and then what?
Not, dude, I mean, it is what it is, Garrett. You can't change who you are. I mean, it's okay. We love you for who you are.
Unfortunately,
despite all the racism and the hate.
Oh, man. Okay. So, yeah, that's huge news. I can't wait to see when it could possibly be coming out. I know it's probably not going to be anytime soon, but I really hope it is at the same time, in the next year, maybe 2021. Do you think that's something we could get that soon, or is this
I would like to see
out?
that, but it's probably going to be more of a 2-year out thing. Yeah. But I will tell you this: HBO does not put out trash. They really don't.
That's the other thing that's huge. Not only is Neil Druckmann going to be a part of it, that's going to make it amazing, but HBO, to be honest, I'm going to be straight up. I actually haven't watched a lot of HBO shows. Actually, I can't think of any HBO show I've ever watched, but I've only heard amazing thing about HBO shows. I've never heard a bad thing about an HBO show.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things, even hearing about Chernobyl, I'm like, oh shoot, yeah, that was a series. When I was reading this article, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that series. Everyone raved about it. I need to go watch that. I think I have a free trial of HBO.
So I don't have HBO. I haven't had it in years, and I've never seen Entourage, or what's the one with Gandolfini, the where he's a gangster, James Gandolfini. I don't know. There's the one where he's some gangster, Italian mobster or whatever.
The Sopranos?
The Sopranos. Never saw any of it. Yeah. That's
okay.
Yeah. Never saw any of it. Because I don't have HBO and I haven't in a really long time. I don't pay for premium channels or anything like that. I'm a cord cutter.
The HBO Go, I think, is $10 a month or something.
Well, that's where I was going to go. I would totally go for that. Legitimately, just for The Last of Us series.
100%.
I mean, it's worth it.
And then everything else would be icing on the cake,
right.
like Chernobyl and all the other movies and stuff that I get on there. 100%.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that's awesome news. HBO, good on you. And Naughty Dog, always killing it. So, and that just even makes me more excited that in a few short weeks, we're going to end up getting to play. Shut up.
There's still months at this point.
It's weeks, I said. We're going to get to play Last of Us 2. I mean, I'm going to. You can watch me.
2.5 months, but
I hate you sometimes.
That's fine.
I just hate you.
I hate you too. This next news story, this is one of those new ones I surprised JJ with, which then he came back and said, no, I read that article.
Yeah. And I actually did. This time I swear I wasn't even lying. Normally I'll lie to your face. I'm like, no, of course I did. But I have a tell. Where I'm closing my eyes and not really looking at you. Of course.
This one came out just today. Reggie Fils-Aimé joins GameStop board of directors to help save the struggling retailer. The Reginator joins GameStop. This is by Matt Kim over at IGN. Former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé has joined the GameStop board of directors, the retail company announced today. Fils-Aimé, along with 2 more new board members, was brought on to help guide the company back to profitability. The board refreshment and governance enhancements announced today represent an important milestone in GameStop's transformation as we continue to evolve the company's business strategy for long-term success, said GameStop Chief Executive George Sherman in a statement. In a tweet announcing the news, Fils-Aimé said, it's weird calling him Fils-Aimé, everyone knows him as Reggie. He's Reggie. Whatever, just call him Reggie. The gaming industry needs a healthy and vibrant GameStop. I look forward to being part of GameStop Corp board and helping to make this happen. So this is, we don't need to read more of it really, because this is just more about him, who he was. We all know who he was. From 2006 to 2019, he was a president of Nintendo of America, and he retired a couple months ago because, his reasoning was I want to go home and fish and hang out with my family. Yeah. And then here he is. Now he's joined the board of GameStop. But this blew my mind when I read this, because I was like, holy cow, GameStop, to really put it in a very, very maybe oversimplified term, but it's dead. It's failing. It's like it's on its way out. Like people are speculating that by the end of the
way that it's being run right now, it feels like it's on its last legs.
Yeah. Like people are speculating like by the end of the year or a year and a half, like it might not even be around anymore. Like people are actually speculating. Will it like I know earlier this year people were like, will it even make it till the new console launches at the end of this year? Like GameStop is not looking good.
So there was an article that came out that we read, and I want to say this was like maybe 4 months ago or something like that, where they have this idea internally, and they're going to try to change up what GameStop is. So they'll still sell some shirts and gimmicks and all that kind of garbage or whatever in small supply, but where they try to make it more of a hangout area for gamers, creating events there and stuff like that. I like the idea. I like where it's coming from. Whether it'll work in practicality is a totally different thing. But keep in mind, there's not a whole lot of, we've been talking about it on Discord lately. Couch co-op is kind of dead. You know, it's people are playing from home and stuff like that. This might, present a little bit of a different thing where people can come together and create little events and tournaments and go play Sea of Thieves together with a bunch of people, or go do a tournament where you're playing, Madden's new football game. I don't know. Does he do football? I don't know.
He does every year.
Yeah, whatever. I'm just saying. But I think that the idea is cool. They're thinking outside of the box. If they want to save it, they're going to have to do something different. Yeah. Because GameStop, the way that it has been run, is not sustainable because Amazon. Because 100%. Amazon.
Because Amazon and digital. Like everyone would much rather like sit at home. They just click buy on whatever marketplace, whatever console they're using, and it just downloads their console, and they never even had to get up off the couch.
And as somebody like myself, I don't like moving into the all digital. I know you feel the way you do about it. But
I like it a lot.
Sure.
JJ's holding me back though.
I'm the one holding you back. No, but the reason that I'm really big about the physical is because I like the idea of having a game and then being able to trade it in for credit, at a place, or sharing it with friends easily by handing it over like they did. Here's how we share games I like that. And that's one of the things we buy like one copy of a game here at the Super Gamer Boys. And so that way you normally get it physical so you can then share with me, so then I can play it for 2 days and then hand it back to you and go, I can't win.
Depending on the game, either JD will get it first or I get it first. And that's how we do it. Unless you go on patreon.com/supergamerboys and support us, just $1 a month. You can help us buy 2 copies of a game.
Boom.
So we can both play it at the same time.
It would be really awesome, because Garrett's going to be so butthurt when I'm playing Last of Us 2 and he's just like asking me, so how is it? And I'm like hoarding it to myself.
And then we can actually talk about it at the same time on a podcast instead of being like, oh, okay, cool. Like listen to the other person, like, great, thanks for spoiling it for me.
This time around we might have to buy a couple of copies. And,
Last of Us, heck yeah.
Because I figure we probably both want to be able to talk about it here on the show and stuff.
But no, I 100%, what you're saying is all 100% truth. I was shocked initially because, Reggie goes into retirement, and then like, okay, Reggie, I was going to say Fedgy. Reggie's coming out of retirement. He's joining like GameStop. Like, and what a perfect person.
Absolutely.
To get to do this.
Yeah.
He is a genius. Like he did miracles with Nintendo. Yeah. Like he really is what made Nintendo like the powerhouse they are today. I mean, there's all these predecessors who before, like there's always been amazing people in Nintendo. So it's not him single-handedly, but man, he did so much incredible work there to really just, I think that was one of his main quotes is like, I'm here to kick ass and take names. Like he was hardcore at Nintendo. He's like, I'm here to like, we're going to be the best Nintendo we can be. And so if he can take that same mentality into GameStop now, like, hey, I'm here to kick ass and take names. And we're going to we're going to knock this out and become like the best game retailer and esports event, like location and like hangout spot. Like,
he brings credibility, and I love that he obviously feels like there's something with this, that they still have something to offer.
To join a dying company in its final days and be like, no, we're reviving this sucker.
Maybe Reggie Fils-Aimé just wants a challenge, and if anybody can do it, he can. So I say good on you, Reg. Can I call you Reg? Because he probably listens to the show, right?
Oh, totally, yeah. No, we're on a first name.
Tell you what, Reggie, reach out to us. We'll send you a free Super Gamer Boys mug.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, when I say free, he'll pay for it.
I'll send you 10 of them. Anything for Reggie.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious. I'm excited.
Actually, can I add one more thing to that real quick? I talked to a friend that worked at GameStop for a long time, and he actually just started doing pest control. If you're listening to the show, shout out to my boy Keith. Keith just recently started working for Clark, and he worked over at GameStop for a long time in our small town that we work out of. And so we actually talked about this briefly, and he was saying like, oh man, everything that I could tell, I don't think that that's going to be sustainable. And this is just from his perspective, working inside of the company, the way that it's been being run, seeing how busy it is, seeing how employees have been treated thus far with hours being cut, with split shifts and stuff like that. So far, that company hasn't been really great about their employees. I know another person that worked for GameStop for a long time. It was a big deal to keep them on the hook. Hey, you're up for manager. We're going to be, hiring a manager soon. And gosh, you're just perfect for it. And then passing them up and pulling in people from outside and then cutting hours like crazy and doing the split shift thing. Because they just don't want to pay full time, So I think that this is a great shot in the arm for them, and I would love to see them succeed because I'd hate to see GameStop go under.
No, yeah.
Especially because we get that
GameStop.
Sweet magazine, the Game Informer.
No,
I don't want to see that go away.
Love Game Informer, and I know I'm a pro member at GameStop, and I love getting they just changed their thing now. It's $15 for a year, but every month you get a $5 gift certificate. So I don't need a game every month, but I try hard to find something because I'm like it's a free $5 bill. I'm just throwing away otherwise.
Wait, am I getting that too?
If you're a pro member, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a pro member.
Goes to your email, yeah.
Man, I gotta look at email more often.
Yeah, you
Remember, they get so much like porn spam. I don't know why.
I can only imagine.
What?
But yeah, so good on GameStop for bringing in the boss. Really, that's his new nickname.
The boss.
Reggie the Boss Fils-Aimé.
I think that nickname's already taken.
Yeah, by Reggie.
Okay. You're going to get a cease and desist, man.
Not me. It's his name.
Bruce Springsteen is the boss. He's been the boss for
Bruce Springsteen. No one cares about Bruce Springsteen.
I think I should step away from you right now. You're going to get a bomb dropped on you in a moment.
All righty, this next news story comes from Polygon, written by Michael McWhirter. Unannounced Star Wars game appears to leak via PlayStation Network. Star Wars Project Maverick listing reportedly added to the European PlayStation Network. A new Star Wars video game, one that hasn't been officially announced by publisher Electronic Arts, may have just been revealed thanks to a data-mined PlayStation Store listing. According to the Twitter account PSN Releases, which is run by a bot that monitors Sony PlayStation Network for new PlayStation 4 game releases and updates, a title called Star Wars Project Maverick is in development. The title was simply uploaded as Maverick, according to the Twitter account, but was paired with artwork that reveals a potential new Star Wars game. That artwork features a lone Imperial Star Destroyer and a small fleet of X-Wing fighters, implying that the project would likely take place around the original Star Wars trilogy era. The setting for the aerial battle appears to be Mustafar, the volcanic planet sanctuary to Darth Vader. Mustafar first appeared in Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and has been featured in multiple films and animated series. According to a recent report from Kotaku, publisher Electronic Arts, which has exclusive rights to develop Star Wars games, has 2 new Star Wars projects in development, a sequel to Respawn's Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and a, quote, smaller, more unusual project at EA Motive. Motive Studios co-developed Star Wars Battlefront 2 and was working on another untitled Star Wars project. So we can obviously assume this isn't Jedi Fallen Order, this is that quote-unquote smaller, more unusual product that EA Motive is working on. So this is super freaking exciting.
I kind of feel bad because I told you earlier that I read all the articles. This was the only article that I did not read because it said Star Wars on it, so I just didn't care. And I probably should have read it because I actually was kind of thinking that this was going to be like Star Wars with John McCain in it, or it was like John McCain versus Darth Vader or something like that. Because, Sarah Palin used to call him Maverick. So I assumed that it was like a political thing. John McCain's guy ran for president. The war hero ran for president.
Yeah, I know.
You're back in 2008. He was the guy running up against President Obama.
Yeah, I was
Sarah Palin called him a maverick. That's right, you're a baby.
2008, I was in
you're a wee baby.
9th grade or something. 10th grade.
Oh, man. I already had 7 kids and been in and out of rehab a bunch. I'm just kidding. I've never been to rehab. I just man up on everything.
No, so here's the deal with this. We don't know much about it, obviously, other than just a little picture here, which shows, again, it's like...
Well, we know that John McCain is not in this game.
Not in the game. There is a Star Destroyer, and then off down here in the corner, there are some little X-Wing fighters. It's a really cool artwork. I like the artwork. It
looks like they're being flown by Ewoks. It's crazy. Everybody loves the Ewoks.
Oh, your vision, since getting these new glasses, you can really see some tiny details. It's pretty amazing.
I might be making that up. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
It just looks like little blobs.
But here's the deal. I've listened to other podcasts talk about this, and I heard one theory that I loved. So when you hear the word Maverick, what's the first thing you think of?
John McCain.
Besides John McCain.
Sarah Palin.
Okay. It has nothing to do with the presidential elections. What do you think of when you hear the word Maverick?
I got nothing.
Okay, for some reason in my head...
my gosh! Is it that movie with Mel Gibson where he's like a poker player? And then it was the old TV show with James something or other?
No.
I think that's what you're thinking. It's an old Western. Yeah.
No. So what I think of Top Gun.
Oh.
And I think of...
Okay.
I mean, even before I think of Top Gun, I immediately think of a jet fighter pilot. You know, that's just because I played the Ace Combat series. That's a word that's used in there. The new Top Gun movie came out as a Maverick. I immediately think of pilot, flight, combat. So my thought is this new game going to be a space combat, like jet fighter game, but in the Star Wars universe? Which if it is...
Wow.
That sounds amazing.
That would be a lot of fun.
So they've had that in the past.
Sure.
Like on GameCube, they had the Rogue Squadron games.
Yeah, but an updated version would be pretty amazing.
On N64 and GameCube, they had that. And even in Battlefront, they had some space warfare. Like I think in 2 especially, they added ships and they had like that type of thing. But if it was like a more like, think like dark, gritty, and like 100% focused on just, aerial combat, space combat, from like the entire time, like a whole campaign story based around it. Like that sounds amazing. Like to control like this ship or this fleet of ships and just blow crap up. I don't know. I'm super stoked about that. That was something else. I forget. I think it was on Kind of Funny Games Daily or something. They were talking about it. And I'm like, dude, that would be so cool.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
So that's some of the speculation out there. Maybe it's a fighter, jet game essentially, but in the Star Wars universe. We will see. But so far there's been no, like I think they said they reached out to EA for comment, and for obvious reasons, EA is staying silent. They're just like, we're not ready to talk about this. We have no comment. But yeah, so that's all there is for that. Just kind of like a cool graphic and a name. And I'm like, heck yeah, more Star Wars. I love me some Star Wars.
If you would like, I will start using Maverick as your nickname.
Okay.
But all you have to do is shave off your beard and just keep the sweet mustache with like the little, flavor saver right there, like me.
I'm cool with a mustache. It's just
no, you're
when...
Not. No, let me tell you, you're not.
Okay, I'm not going to look cool. I'm going to look like an idiot.
Right.
I'm okay with having a mustache. I am not a fan at all of the soul patch.
The soul patch.
You had it.
Mm-hmm.
Our boss had it, and you both look so
idiotic.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Mustaches, they're cool. Mustaches are fine. Mm-hmm. Some people pull them off better than others. Sure. I don't pull it off at all, but mustaches, cool.
Okay. But if you folks reach out right now and tell him that you want him to do it, he loves you guys so much, the listeners of this show, the watchers of this YouTube channel. He loves you so much that he would literally shave off his beard and leave a sweet mustache with the soul patch, flavor saver, whatever you want to call it.
Here's the
little
deal.
Champagne here.
Here's the deal.
Do it.
I'll do a mustache. I will not do the soul patch.
Okay, so next week you're coming in just a mustache on video. Love it.
If we can get... I gotta think of a number.
He's gonna come up with like an astronomical, like unreachable, unattainable number.
Here's the deal. If we can even get 10 people to reach out over the next week on social media,
do it.
I don't even think we can get 10 people.
I think that we can. Do I count as 2 people? Because
no, you don't count as any. You don't count at all. So if we can get 10 listeners.
It's technically like 40% my show, man. Like, well,
exactly
38%
why
my show.
Exactly why you shouldn't have any say in this. This
That
is for the
technically
listeners.
counts for 2 votes.
This is for the listeners to decide.
Okay.
And I you know what? I don't believe in you. I have no faith in you, listeners. I don't even think 10 of you can band together to get me to shave a mustache.
Go on social media. It doesn't matter which site. Discord. Go on Facebook. Go on Twitter. And go and please hashtag Garrett's Stash. And if we get that rolling this week, if we get enough of you getting that thing going, 10 people, all we need is 10 of you to reach out. Tell your friends. Then next week he shows up on the show with just a sweet mustache and the little flavor saver, the soul patch. You're keeping it, loving it.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Digging on it. Please, people, please. I need this for myself. I got nothing else.
I don't think we can even get 10 people. There's no way.
Okay. Don't fail me.
That's how little faith I have in our listeners. That I
believe in all of them.
That number is so low. It's like,
I believe in you.
There's no way.
You right now, you that's listening. I believe in you, and I know that you can make this mustache happen. Hashtag Garrett Stash. I gotta see it. I gotta see it. I bet you have like no chin, like baby butt chin.
I look like a little baby with no facial hair. I know with facial hair it looks just like a patchy mess, but it's better than looking like a 2-year-old. If I walk in a room and my son and Shep walks in a room, you won't be able. There's no way you can tell the difference.
You can't tell the difference between.
You'll be like, wait, then Shep just walked in here a minute ago. Like,
You know, I'm curious because you kind of like threw down 10 of us, not including me, 10 people reaching out on social media platforms, the hashtag Garrett Stash, and you are willing to give it all up and just come in with just a sweet stash and a little flavor saver.
Patch. I said no.
That's what we just agreed to, but whatever. We'll go back review the tape. But basically, you've said this without any okay from your wife. She's going to hate you. I love it. You've dug your own one on this one, buddy.
Yeah, that's all right.
I bet we have 10 before this thing drops on Wednesday. We're going to have 10 because I'm going to be heavily pumping this online.
No, here's the deal. After the show, you're going to forget all about this until next week, and I'm not going to say a word.
Probably.
If there's 10 people next week, I'll be honest. You know what? Like, you can trust me. If we get 10 people to support it, I will say something next week. But if we only get 1 or 2, I'm not bringing it up next week. It's up to you to bring it up and campaign for it. So. and it resets every week.
Okay.
So if next week we only have like 2 people, okay. Well, now it has to be 10 more people.
Okay. Hashtag Garrett Stash.
Okay. Here's the next news story.
It's going to be pornorific. I just know it.
No.
I just know. Will you shave your head into a mohawk too?
No.
Okay, we're going to work on that one next. Get the mustache growing first. One thing at a time, kids.
Next one comes from Games Radar. Chris Burke over there. Don't worry, Resident Evil 3 safe rooms are safe, confirms Capcom. So obviously this story might seem out of place because
there's a reason for it. It does kind of seem out of place, but there was some photo.
There was an original story that I didn't include in here, but the original story was that basically it was all over Twitter. The Nemesis apparently can just bust in doors and can even break into safe rooms. And so the story was, you're not safe anywhere. And I even retweeted the story. It was a story from IGN. I'm like, so it's not a safe room? Like, why are you calling it a safe room if you're not safe in there? The Nemesis. Well, actually, within an hour or two, the post got deleted because I went back and looked at my retweet and it says, tweet unavailable. I'm like, oh, son of guns. Like, they literally, like, they deleted the whole story. Like, I don't know. First of all, I'm no journalist, but that seems very, just kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. That doesn't seem, not moral. That's a little too strong. That just seems a little weird, though. Like, when news sites just go deleting stories. I understand updating stories, but full out deleting it, I'm like, oh, wow, they did not want people to realize they screwed up there. That's gone. Anyways, there was a story put out by a lot of people, not just IGN. You're not safe anywhere in the game. Nemesis is going to come, kick the door in, and break your neck.
Which is not traditional of how any Resident Evil games.
Usually you go in the safe room. Yeah. You are 100% safe. As soon as that door shuts, nothing can get in there. You are totally safe. There's nice calming music. There's a typewriter in there to save your game. There's the box over there to store your junk in. You're good to go.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Within a couple hours of that coming out, Capcom has confirmed that despite early reports, the Nemesis will definitely not be able to enter Resident Evil 3's designated safe rooms. So here's where the confusion happened. Let me see. In this month's official Xbox Magazine's hands-on preview of the game, official Xbox Magazine reported on needing to dodge past the Nemesis when he broke into a room with a progress-saving typewriter. This location was not, in fact, a designated safe room. The clues in the music, as is traditional in the Resi franchise, and not all save points are in safe rooms. So that's where the confusion came in, is the people who demoed the game from official Xbox Magazine went into a save room thinking it was a safe room. Nemesis busted in, killed him, or did whatever, like scared the crap out of him, and they perpetuated this whole like lie, essentially, not realizing like, oh, that was a save room, not a safe room.
You can see where the confusion was.
100%, yeah. But I just saw, I don't know, the whole mass hysteria that happened. What day did this come out? It just says 3 days ago. What is that? It's the 6th, so that's Friday. Like all over Twitter and social media, people are losing their minds. Like, what? Like Nemesis is going to break in and kill you? Like, you're not safe anywhere. This game's going to be so crazy, blah, blah, blah. Like, people are losing their minds over this. And then, like, within a couple hours, Capcom's like, chill the heck out. Like, everything's cool. You're all good. Safe rooms are still safe. So I'm more into the story because it was just bizarre to me. Like, I was like, holy cow, like people lost their minds over that. Like, it was so interesting to see people blow up over that.
As did you with you retweeting. I mean, you thought the same thing.
Right,
like,
I retweeted and I was just like, so they're not called safe. Yeah, that just seems so weird to call them a safe room when it's not safe. But yeah, obviously we were all led astray by, of course, Xbox. Bunch of liars over there.
Yep, that's what you get, Xbox.
Can't trust them.
Yep.
But yeah, so you are safe. There are safe rooms. Resident Evil 3 looks freaking amazing.
It does. I just looked at a video earlier today, actually, after reading that article. I realized I actually hadn't seen very much footage at all.
I know. I've only seen when they first announcement on that State of Play, and I haven't watched anything else, but it's kind of intentional because I want to go into it completely surprised. Like they've even talked about putting out a demo this month, and originally I said I was going to play it for sure, but honestly, the last like couple weeks, I'm like, I might not play it.
See, and I actually loved that Resident Evil 2 did that little demo. It whetted my appetite for wanting more.
I love the demo. Like, I'm not saying the demo was bad. I just more like, I would love to go in on April 3rd playing this with nothing. Because I never played the original one. So to go into Resident Evil 3, this remake, not knowing literally anything, and like going in and like those first couple hours, because like, that's what the demo was of Resi 2 was like the first like hour or so. And there was a lot of like crazy moments and jump scares and stuff that were ruined in the regular game because I played the demo. So I'm like, man, if I go into Resident Evil 3 totally fresh, not knowing the story, not knowing anything that happens, just be like scared to death playing this game, like that sounds awesome. So I might not play that demo. I'm cool if you want to play and if you want to talk about it on the show. But I think for myself, I want to stay, like, I'm not going to watch any videos or play any game or demos, and I just want to go in blind because, I don't know, I think it'll be fun.
Well, the difference between you and I is I'm dumb, and I'll forget everything anyway. And then not only that, I'm not going to get very far in the demo. I won't finish it like you did, because it's not what I do.
Well, they're just time demos. Like Resident Evil 2, you had an hour, and if you didn't, or I didn't think it was an hour.
It was a half hour.
It was a half hour.
30 minutes,
If you didn't beat it in that half hour, like, you couldn't play it again. Like you were done. Which I finished. I was able to get through it, but yeah.
And that demo is actually still available on PlayStation. You now go back.
Yeah.
So if you haven't played Resident Evil 2, it's worth going and checking out that demo. It really is a phenomenal
They re-released it without the time limit, so you can play it over and over again, and you don't get locked out of it. But yeah, go check it out. If you haven't played the second one, play that demo, play the second one, get hyped for the third one.
Definitely.
Because they're amazing.
And if you've got an Xbox, sell it, go buy a PlayStation, and then go play that demo. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't have to play any other games, just play that demo.
I don't know why you need to get a PlayStation, but I support it.
Because you have to have a PlayStation. We're Sony ponies.
Okay, yeah.
Well, you have to...
No, I said I support what you said. You can play it on Xbox too if you want.
No.
Okay.
No, you can't.
Okay. Whatever you say. Let's move into this last news story here. This comes from GameSpot. This is also a late announcement. This just came out. So this is kind of two stories in one again. Earlier this morning, really early this morning, when my alarm went off at like 6 o'clock this morning, I roll over, rub my eyes for a second, hit, is that John Cena's?
Yes.
Okay. I was like, what is that music? It fairly threw me off. I'm sorry. This morning, I rolled over, rubbed the crust out of my eyes, turned off my alarm, grabbed my phone, immediately turn on Twitter, and the first thing I see is new Call of Duty mode leaked. No one knows when it's coming out. No one knows any details, but there was just different pictures and screenshots, and I think that actually there was a date or something it released or leaked. People are freaking out. What is this? What is this? What's going on? Well, within a couple hours, there was an official announcement from Activision. Call of Duty Warzone is a free battle royale game launching tomorrow. So crazy. Announced today, going to be available for everyone tomorrow. This comes from Chris Pereira over at GameSpot. Following Black Ops 4's Battle Royale mode Blackout, Activision is going much bigger in the Battle Royale space with a standalone free-to-play game called Call of Duty Warzone that supports 150 players and doesn't require you to buy anything to play it. The game will be available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC beginning Tuesday, March 10th. Activision is surprise releasing it much like EA did with Apex Legends last year. It's not a complete surprise, however, as the opening cinematic for Modern Warfare Season 2 strongly hinted at a new Battle Royale mode, and numerous leaks have emerged in the recent weeks. Also, you don't have to have a copy of Modern Warfare to play it, but Modern Warfare owners will be able to jump in early. The difference is just a couple hours. I think if you own Modern Warfare, you can get in at 8 tomorrow. If you don't own it, you can get in at 12. There's two modes. Battle Royale, which is 150 players, all versus each other, and Plunder mode is a race to collect the most cash. You can earn money by looting, stealing it from players, and completing contracts. Objectives you can find and take on them in the midst of a match. Activision says there are several different types of contracts. Scavenger contracts, for instance, task you to find and open a series of supply boxes, while recon contracts task you with securing a location, much like Call of Duty's domination mode. So really just like sounds like chaos. It's just like 150 players just doing whatever the heck they want, and whoever has the most money at the end wins kind of thing, at least in the plunder mode. The download will weigh in between 18 to 22 gigabytes if you've installed Modern Warfare's most recent update. If you're a new player, Warzone can be downloaded directly from your console's digital store and will be much larger, talking up between 83 to 101 gig.
Oh, whoa.
So if you own Modern Warfare already, it's only going to be between 18 and 22. But if you don't own Call of Duty Modern Warfare, 83 to 101 gig.
That's huge.
That is massive. So it's a huge game. But man, this came out of nowhere. I'm super stoked. I was telling JJ before the show that I love Battle Royale games. And I love Apex especially. I really love PUBG back in the day. I like the more, Apex isn't realistic, but I like the more realistic in that sense of like, it's not Fortnite. Like, I don't know. There's something about Fortnite. I mean, we've talked about in the Discord. I'm not a fan of the building mechanics because I suck at it. I don't like it.
That's exactly why I don't like it either.
I'm bad at it. Like, I'd rather just shoot people. Just let me shoot people. Like, I don't want to build stupid stuff. Just let me shoot. And then also like even the aesthetic. I don't like the cartoony aesthetic of it. Like, I think it's just too goofy and silly and cartoony. So coming into this, and it's like military sim game, or not sim, but military game, really realistic weapons, awesome graphics. Like, I'm super stoked for this. Like, I'm excited to give this a shot tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to play it obviously first thing when it comes out at 8 o'clock in the morning, but definitely tomorrow night I'm going to try to give it a shot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Sweet.
So, and they don't say it in this article, which is weird, but everywhere else I've read, it's crossplay too. So you can play between PC, PS4, Xbox One all together. Same as Modern Warfare. Modern Warfare is crossplay. So
that is amazing.
So not like right off the bat. I think this is one of the first Battle Royale games to be crossplay right off the bat. Because even Fortnite, it took a while.
Yeah.
Apex still isn't. And then so for this to come up and be like, yeah, day one or crossplay, like that's amazing.
That's awesome.
So if anyone out there wants to play, let me know. Whether you have an Xbox, PC, or PS4, we can all play now. So it'll be awesome.
Sweet.
I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about that? You didn't really.
No, because I'm not really a
distracted.
Call of Duty. I got distracted. I actually was reached out to by my family. I've got some sick kids right now that are all at home, and they're wanting to make sure that I leave soon to come home. So I said, okay, I will do what I can, but I'm not going to like rush the show along. But when the kids and mama are sick, I do need to come back to take my rightful place at the beck and call. So.
Cool. Well, let's get through this stuff quickly then, not dilly-daddle here. New releases. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I don't know what that game is, but it comes out March 6th on Switch. So if you like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX.
There was a lot of words that you just said.
Go check that out. I like Pokemon, and even I don't know what this game is, so I have nothing for you.
I feel like there's a new Pokemon game that comes out every 2 weeks. That's kind of like what's been happening.
That's not true, because that's why people freak out over them, because they come out like once a year. Like they only come out, or sometimes every other year. But
didn't they just have 2 that came out simultaneously, like a few months ago?
Well, okay, you don't understand Pokemon. Technically, yes, Pokemon Sword and Shield both came out, but it's the same game.
Oh, okay.
It's the same game, but they have different Pokemon in them. So the point of it is like, you buy one, your friend buys another. Like I buy Sword, you buy Shield. We play it. We catch all the Pokemon. Whatever ones I can't get, you give yours to me. I give the ones you can't get to you. You trade them. That's the whole point of it. So they always do. They do that with every game. Like back in the day, Red and Blue came out together. Ruby and Sapphire came out together. Gold and Silver came out. Like that's just the way they do it. So.
Okay, first of all, you don't have any friends, and they're never going to want to trade you Pokemon. Yeah. Seriously.
Well, of course they won't, because I don't play the game anymore. We'll maybe get to that a little later in the question of the show. But yeah, I haven't touched Pokemon pretty much since it came out. The other new release is Ori and the Will of the Wisp. This came out on Xbox One and PC on March 11th. So yeah, that's that. New releases. What you been playing?
I have been playing Super Mario Brothers 3 because Lee has the Switch and he's got the classic Nintendo stuff set up. So we've been playing Super Mario Brothers 3 and I absolutely am having such a blast. And I love that he thinks that I'm a genius because I'm showing him little tricks and stuff like that. And he's like, how did you know where that was? And I'm like,
because I'm 100 years old.
Because I'm so freaking smart and I just know everything. And he's like, no, really? Like, I was like, well, dude, you're supposed to like believe and buy into everything I say. But no, he knew for real that I had no clue. And I'm like, because I played it when I was your age, you know? And he's like, Dad, this game is so old. And I'm like, yeah, hey, are you saying that I'm so old? And he's like, okay. You've been hanging out with Garrett a little too much.
Yeah.
So we've been playing that quite a bit with him, and that's been really cool. We've been doing that together. And then I've been playing a little bit of Far Cry 5, and I'm not getting very far. That game is really difficult.
It's hard, yeah.
That's
really
why
I think I stopped, because I was like, I'm playing other games. I don't have time for this. I'm going to move on.
I think I made a mistake. I tried to do it on normal, and I think that I probably should have just started off on easy. I probably wouldn't get very far with that either, but it's actually really a difficult game, but it's really gorgeous. The story is great. Surprisingly, it started off so hot and heavy, and the stories just felt really good. I like the world that they created with it, but the gameplay is just, it's all really great. It's just there's a lot of NPCs. And
that was my biggest issue is you jump on a four-wheeler, you start driving on the road to get to a mission, and on the map, it's like, oh, it's not that far. It's like a couple minutes down the road. Mm-hmm. Every like 10 seconds, you run into like another truck full of bad guys who like pull over. They all jump out, start shooting. You got to kill them all. It takes like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to kill them. You finally kill them. Like, okay, jump back on your four-wheeler, driving down the road. A couple minutes later, are you kidding me? Another like that's what happens.
Well,
and it's just like person after group after group after group. It's like, just let me get to the dang mission.
I thought it was going to be more of like kind of a stealth thing. Like, okay, so you come up and you catch like one guy standing off by himself, choke him out or something or whatever. It has not been like that. As I come,
you try to go through the woods and then you get attacked by a bear, or like a mountain lion.
And
you can't win.
And like they just get their hackles up like right away. And you're like, dude, there's no one.
They're calling people in on the radio. There's like, hey, we got someone, and then there's 10 trucks there, and you're like, get the heck out of here.
Yeah, but it's still a great game, and I'm going to keep playing it until I rage quit. Which is probably like really soon.
Yeah. I think I remember at one point there was so many people who showed up. I literally just I managed to kill these two guys. They pulled up in a truck. I was like, boom, boom, killed both of them, jumped in. Had one gun out the window. I'm driving the other one, like bang, 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 bang. Like, I was like, I just got to get away. Like, I can't kill these people. So I literally just like plowed through a truck, like flipped it over. Like I took off shooting people out the window. It's like, whatever it takes. I just got to go because, you just get cornered. It's like, just let me go do the mission.
Yeah. So what have you been playing?
I've been playing more Hunt Showdown. Still in love with that game. The best $40 I've ever spent. I feel like no one is jumping on the bandwagon. Me and Derek keep preaching it in the Discord. We keep talking about on the show. Everyone, I think, just thinks we're crazy. But for $40, like, it's an amazing game. It's cheap, and it's so much fun. Like, we haven't played as much last week. We were both really busy. But, I mean, we still do play. Like, he'll text me, like, hey, you up for tonight? I'm like, 100% yeah. Like, if he asks me, I'm in. Loving Hunt Showdown. On Twitter, a lot of you guys probably saw I started playing Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. That was a PSP game. So I had a week free trial for PlayStation Now. I got an email like a couple weeks ago, like, hey, I know, like, we know you used your free trial, a couple months ago or a year ago by now. But we've made a lot of changes and we want you to try it again. So here's another free week trial for PlayStation Now. I'm like, cool, okay. And they have the HD collection of Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and Peace Walker, which was a PSP game, Peace Walker was, all on PlayStation Now. So I was like, I'll fire it up. I've never played this one. Somehow I missed it when I had a PSP back in the day, and I'll give it a shot. It's some people's favorite Metal Gear game. I jumped in, played for like an hour maybe. Not even that. I think it was maybe like 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, I was just like really tired, and in that moment, I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready for a new game. I just want junk food right now. So I like backed out of Peace Walker and just started playing Metal Gear Solid 2, which is a game I've beaten probably like 872 times.
That means twice.
No, like I've literally, like, this game I've beat a million times. Like it's one of my favorite, probably my favorite Metal Gear Solid game. Like I have 2 and 1 and whatever. You don't need to know the whole rankings because no one else cares apparently, but at least that's what everyone tells me. But yeah, so I jumped in and I'm literally like probably I think I'm like a third of the way, almost halfway through the game already. I've only played for a couple days, but I just like started binging it and like, that game, such exactly that junk food, comfort food. Like I start getting into that game and I know every word they're going to say, all the cutscenes. Like I have the game memorized forward, backward. I know where all the things are hidden, how to beat all the bosses in like 2 seconds. But it's so much stinking fun. Like I love Metal Gear Solid 2. And I felt really bad. Like after I got so far into it, I'm like, I should have been playing Peace Walker because it's a game I haven't played. But Metal Gear Solid 2 is so stinking good. Like I love this game so much. But yeah, so that's kind of the 3 main games I've been playing. But I did jump in to Final Fantasy VII demo. I beat it in about, 45 minutes or so, maybe 30, 45 minutes. It's not a super long demo. And just to kind of cut to the chase, like this demo changed my mind on the game. I had recently tried to play Resident Evil 7 on Switch, which is basically a port of the original game from PlayStation 1. And I really struggled to get into it because it's an old game. I never played it back in the day because I wasn't a fan of RPGs back then, and we owned it. I don't know why we owned it. My dad wasn't a fan of RPGs back then. Like, I think I even asked him, I'm like, did you ever play Final Fantasy games? I was like, I think I tried them, but I didn't like it. But we owned it. Like, we had the whole box set of this Final Fantasy VII. But then, like, fast forward to now, I love RPGs. I love, turn-based stuff. But playing like a game that's so old, I was like, I cannot get into this. Like, it's really hard. Like, some old games I can really get into, like Metal Gear Solid 2. You know, it came out like, 2001, 2002 or something. Or Final Fantasy 7, nope. I played this demo. First off, beautiful game.
Yeah.
Insane. The graphics blow everything out of the water, like the skin textures and like the hair physics, like 'cause they all have like the Japanese anime crazy hair.
I forgot
and stuff,
to mention
and,
it, but I also played it, and it is incredible looking.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I don't know. I don't know how controversial it's going to be because I'm not super in on the whole Final Fantasy, Reddit or anything like that. I'm not part of the communities and, deep down in the lore of everything, but I'm a huge fan of the combat system. As much as I like a good turn-based game, the new active battle thing where it's just like, just smash square and beat the crap out of things. And then if you want to use a spell or use a healing potion, just tap X, time freezes, and then you can do your thing, and then you just hit X and it all goes back in normal time again. I'm like, I'm 100% about this. Just let me smash the crap out of stuff. Like, this is awesome. So I had a blast with it. Like I said, it really turned me around to where I was like, originally I'm like, I'm not really interested in picking up Final Fantasy 7. Now I'm like, okay, I might need to get this remake. I really enjoyed the combat system, and I've always been interested in story because I've always heard, the biggest thing I've heard. People like the story is great, but the gameplay is so hard. The original is hard to get into. So if I can get the story in this one with awesome gameplay too, I think I might be, turned on to picking that up in April. So
Sweet.
We'll see. But yeah, cool. Let's try to hurry this up so you can get back to your sick family and take care of your kids and your wife, whatever, his husbandly duties. Question of the show. This comes from Dan Jam Gent in the Discord, or also on Twitter. Some of you guys may also see him. He reaches out once in a while. I think he's at Danny Silly Socks on Twitter. He's our buddy from Wales, who we made fun of a few weeks ago. Remember when we tried to do Wales accents?
Yeah, the Welsh accent. Yeah,
and I couldn't remember the word Welsh, and I kept saying Wales accent, and I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm an idiot.
You said it.
His question was, he wrote this in the Discord, which again, if you have any questions, you can send it on any social media, but we now have a channel on Discord where you can go type in your questions, and sometimes JJ answers them.
I answer them right then and there. I didn't realize they were for the show. I just throw things out.
He's an idiot and doesn't listen to anything
I am
say.
kind of an idiot. Yeah, it's true. And I don't listen to anything
I think I even said like in a previous post, like, this channel is for questions for the show, and JJ's like, cool, I think you thumbs upped it. And then later someone asked a question, you're like, bleh, answer. I'm like, JJ,
I thought they were wanting to know my opinion. I didn't,
They do, just not right now.
Yeah. See how on it I am?
We got to keep them in suspense, or else they won't listen to our show. What is the most excited you have ever been for a game's release, only to be so disappointed with it that it ended up in your fart room?
There is legitimately a fart room at my house.
Okay.
We call it a bathroom.
Okay. Well, this is some deep Super Gamer Boys lore. Like, this is something offhand you mentioned like 10 or 15 episodes ago, that we have a fart room here. And I think maybe recently you mentioned it again, but it's something where like, I think it was like an offhand comment. You're like, yeah, we have a fart room. It's Garrett's office over there.
Yeah,
blah,
there's
whatever.
The small office room right next door has like a window you could peek through and stuff like that. Whenever I'm really gassy, he makes me do the show from there.
So I just thought this question was funny because it referenced that little random comment you made. And then he goes on to say, and as a show suggestion, I think the fart room should be mentioned and discussed more often.
Don't worry, Dan. We're working on it. We have whole segments built around the fart room.
I hope it's never mentioned again, but that's
don't
just
worry.
me.
It will be.
I'd rather it just be called my office because that's what it is. But I know, unfortunately, JJ sneaks in there when I'm not looking.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole lot of farting going on in there. Not a lot of work. So as far as a game that I was super jacked about, I think it was 2018. I was really, really excited for Days Gone. Days Gone was the post-apocalyptic biker zombie game. And man, I don't know if you remember, but I was so excited about the game. Everything that I had seen about it, it kept getting delayed. And I was like, come on already. You know what? It was like a mince pie, Dan, that got put in the oven and it came out not ready.
What do you know about mince pies?
Don't. It's like weird pie they put meat in or something. It's weird. But that's what they do over in Wales. They eat those things, man. So essentially, I don't know if they eat those or not. Basically, Days Gone was a game that I look forward to. And when it came out, it was a giant fart room game because it wasn't finished. It's one of those things where I picked it up at a Redbox for a rental. That's I think I rented it for $1 out of a local Redbox, and so I went home and played it for a couple of days, and I was so disappointed because it legitimately just felt like it wasn't done. It felt like they rushed it into we got to get it out there already. They kept putting it off. At one point, it was going to come out, and it just felt like there were too many other very big games coming out around the same time, so they held off on it. And then when it finally did, it came out at the perfect time. There was no other games around it, and it was like, all right.
Yeah.
But it immediately was a giant letdown. Just a giant letdown. And yeah, that one definitely belongs in the fart room. I don't know if there's been any patches. I kind of would like to go back and attempt to try it a little more long form just to see if there's any redeemable qualities. But I know a lot of the complaints were that it just people just felt like it wasn't finished. And they were doing
that was the biggest thing is people were just like, it was glitchy as heck at the beginning. Even like I was telling you just a couple months ago, I got a copy of it, popped it in, and I played the first like 45 minutes of it. And a lot of that is this cutscene and very linear like tutorial stuff. And every cutscene was so janky. And in my head, I'm like, that's the part of the game that should look the best. It's a cutscene. It's literally just a video, MP4 video playing. Like, there shouldn't be glitches in a cutscene. I mean, unless some games render the cutscenes live, which if that's the case, then yeah, that's why it's janky. But like a lot of games will just play a video there. Like, and that's, I don't know, it would have been so much better if I would have rather have been just a video because it would have actually played correctly. Because, there was, like, characters who were, like, doing weird facial animations or, like, glitching in the middle of the thing or, like, 1 second they're there, the next second they're not. It's like, oh, man, yeah. No, that was a bummer for me, too. And I almost, like, I was thinking that in my head when I read this question before, and then you said it, and at first I'm like, oh, dang, I can't talk about it now. And then I thought a little later, too, like, a little bit more about it. I'm like, well, yeah, I was disappointed when that came out, and it was hot garbage. But I also realized, like, I was never really hyped leading up to it, though. So I feel like it would have been kind of disingenuous to say, like, oh, yeah, I was, like, upset because I was, like, I had no lead up to it.
I think I had high expectations because I saw it as an updated version of, like, Last of Us. That's what I was expecting going into it.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I was kind of hoping for, but it's on bikes, it's on motorcycles. And at the time, think of it, Sons of Anarchy, when that game was being created, was super popular, as was Walking Dead at the height of its popularity.
Yeah,
so
when they started working on this game back in the day.
Those genres were very popular, and they've kind of fallen off a little bit.
That's the other thing, too. Like, a lot of people's complaints were, like, you can tell that what era this game was, they started making this game in, because it's almost like they took a look at their landscape, put their head down, started making the game. When they brought their head back up in 2018, all of a sudden they're like, oh, shoot.
They're not as cool anymore.
Like,
right.
Sons of Anarchy is not on TV anymore, and Walking Dead no one cares about. Like, what have we done? kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know. I have a copy, and you said you're interested in trying it out again, so I'll get that to you, and I don't know, maybe you'll change your mind once you get farther into it. Because I honestly, like, I've heard a lot of bad about it, but I've also heard a lot of good too. Like, I've heard some people are like, it wasn't that bad. Like, some people have enjoyed it, so you never know. Maybe you'll get into it and really enjoy it. But.
So if that's not your fart room game, is there another one that has come out the last few years that you looked forward to, and then for whatever reason was a big letdown?
Can I have a couple? So originally I wrote here, The Outer Worlds.
Okay.
This was a game, mostly I was hyped about it because it was made by Obsidian, the people who did Fallout New Vegas, which is probably one of my favorite Fallout games. I really love Fallout 3. That was my favorite for a long time. And then when New Vegas came out, that kind of took it for me, took the cake. And excuse me, got a hiccup there. So yeah, I was
talking about the game gives him gas. That's like the craziest thing.
The Outer Worlds, I was super stoked for this game. I had a lot of potential. I was like, great. And even the trailers made it seem like, oh, this is New Vegas in space. Maybe a little more silly, but it's in space and it's going to be awesome. And then it came out, it was on Game Pass, so I had it on PC Game Pass. day it came out, day of launch day. Installed it, played like an hour and a half of it. I'm like, I think I'm done with this. Like, I can't play anymore. And even that hour and a half was hard to play for me. I know some people adored the game, really enjoyed it, had a great time. For me, nothing grabbed me. It was not remarkable in any way. Like, I was so stoked for this.
Wow.
And especially coming from this developers that I revered their other game, and they haven't made a game like that in a long time. And then for it to just be like such a just dead. And I'm like, oh man, like that was so sad. So that's my first one. My second two, just real quick, and I mentioned this earlier in the show when we were talking about Pokemon stuff. Pokemon Sword and Shield. This is a weird one. I was super hyped for this game coming up because I hadn't played a Pokemon game in a long time. And I finally had the device in order to play it because I never had a 3DS before. Then, I don't know, the day of launch, I loved it. And even the couple weeks after, I loved it. And it had its faults, and I talked about it on the show. But really, it was a slow transition for me where over, the next couple months. And looking back today, I'm like, Pokemon Sword was kind of a dud to me. Like, I didn't realize it in the moment, but looking back now, I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't like that game. And that makes me sad because I love Pokemon, but I didn't like that game. And in my head, I it's one of those things where I feel like if someone was to ask me if I like it, I would say, yes, I like that game. But I was like, well, obviously I don't like it in that much because I haven't touched it in 3 months. I literally played it when it came out and that's it. I haven't touched it. So that's one of those games, I guess, is kind of like a slow burn. It ended up in my fart room. So, and then the last one real quick, Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars Battlefront 2 came out in 2017. Super stoked because obviously I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I enjoy the original Battlefront games on PS2. When Battlefront 1 came out on PS4, when they remade it, it was a dud because it was a multiplayer-only game. I was super bummed about that. And so then when Star Wars Battlefront 2 was coming out and they announced it's going to have a story campaign, it's going to be amazing, I was stoked out of my mind. That game came out, and that campaign was so mediocre. And it was just 5 hours long or something, really short. I don't even think it was that. It was a really short campaign, not a great story. And then the multiplayer again was fun, but it's I want a good story-driven Star Wars game. So those are my 3 games that were all really big farts and that deserve to go in the fart room.
See how selfish he is that he had to pick 3 right now? He can't just hammer it down on one.
What's funny is before we started the show, I didn't have any.
Right.
And then throughout
there's
the
been
show,
some big letdowns over the last
throughout the show,
years.
it hit me. I was just shoot, there's been 3 bad ones.
Thanks for the question, Dan. I appreciate it. Now, please go to Discord if you have any questions for the show. And you can always pose them, and Garrett will probably ignore them, but I'll answer them right there on the site.
Or on our social media. If you haven't already, go check us out. Facebook.com/SuperGamerBoys. Twitter and Instagram, we're at SuperGamerBoys. SuperGamerBoys.com. You can find us at all those places. Thank you guys so much for listening to our show this week.
Thank you.
It's been a good one.
Yeah.
I think it's been pretty good.
It's been great.
Other than I can't hear on my left ear. I don't know what just happened. It's all plugged. So if you've noticed, I've been kind of popping my jaw or whatever. I'm trying to pop my ear because I can't hear anything.
I can
now.
Slap the crap out of you.
No,
I mean, it might help.
thanks.
Are you sure? Because I'd be willing to do it for you, bro. I love you.
If you haven't, please go check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/SuperGamerBoys. Links are on underneath this video on YouTube, or if you're listening to a podcast, go to the episode description. All the links are there for you. SuperGamerBoys.com/store. You can get a t-shirt with our logo on it. You can get mugs with our logo and faces on it. You can get stickers with our faces on it. Anything you want with our face on it, you can get. There's even socks on there. They don't have our faces on it.
No.
But they have our logo on it. It's pretty cool.
It is pretty sweet.
Review us, please. We need reviews. Go over to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, whatever app you use, whatever form of rating or reviewing they have, do it, please, because it's so helpful.
It'll help.
I'm over on Twitter at @gmorlang. JJ's over on Twitter
at JJ Purdom.
We try to do fun stuff on Twitter. I do. JJ doesn't.
I don't do anything.
I try to do fun tweets and try to interact with people. And JJ, I don't think he's been on Twitter in about 9 months.
No, I probably haven't.
Thank you so much to Star Andrews for our logo. Check her out on Instagram at Ground Floor Graphics and Facebook.com/Ground Floor Graphics.
Right on. Another one cooked and in the books. That's right. Folks, I'm JJ. He's Garrett. We are the Super Gamer Boys, and I got to go. I'm going to get, in trouble. She's probably going to ground me and stuff like that. Okay. Bye, guys. We'll see you next time. Dude, Garrett, if you could just lock up for me, because you know how it is, dude. I got dishes to wash and stuff like that. So, okay, man. I'll see you. Yeah, just if you could just finish up.
Okay. We'll catch you all on the flippity flop, I guess.